right, so moving on, we have just two more stories in our news segment, and they're both sort of fan controversies. As you remember, the entire internet had a breakdown when they saw the first trailer for the Sonic movie, and Paramount decided to delay it, take more time, change the design, and hopefully get it right. And Jim Carrey was recently quoted as saying that basically he doesn't know if this was the greatest move. He's not sure if you should let fans, influence like your creative direction, and he's worried that it's just sort of a vocal minority of bandwagon fans that now are kind of calling the shots for this movie when, the majority of people maybe don't necessarily share that same view. Do you guys agree with that, or do you think it's a good thing that Sega, or that Paramount, I guess, is listening to the backlash?
As a principle, I tend to agree with what he's saying, because generally I want whoever's making the movie to have their vision fulfilled. But in this case, it just looked terrible. So I'm really happy that they went back and made the changes. Generally, I'm more confident in the creators to make the creation, but when it comes to Sonic, it isn't a vocal minority. I think a lot of Sonic fans saw that original design and knew that the team behind the scenes didn't really know what they were doing, and so yeah, I think this delay in working on the design is warranted.
And I mean, it's the sort of thing, though. Jim Carrey, he is very removed from the games industry,
and from most people in general.
Yeah, but I think he's an incredible actor. If you've seen the first season of Kidding, his new Showtime series, is very good. He's still an incredible actor, and I think he takes his art very seriously, which for an actor, or just the art of filmmaking very seriously. Not he's not a narcissist. I mean that in the sense that he thinks that movies and television series, the people making them, are the most important people in a production, rather than an audience, because he sees their blood, sweat, and tears all the time. And I think it's good that he's trying to give perspective to those people. But it's also that sort of thing where I think about it, I'm like, okay, where did the design of this Sonic from this Sonic movie come from? And I think about it, I'm like, it's probably just a group of people who have they just got him off the street. They don't know anything about Sonic the Hedgehog. And they showed them maybe 14 slides of different Sonic the Hedgehog designs. And we're like, which one looks best to you? Which one would you buy a toy for your child from? And I feel because there's no way that was an artistic interpretation of that character. That felt like a focus-tested, very calculated, very, in their eyes, marketable version of that character. And
the director even said that he, had complaints from Sega, basically, that they were very apprehensive about the design, and he just kind of pushed ahead anyway. So
yeah, because I mean, this is Paramount. Really, with this movie is still in the same echelon as their Transformers films, where at the end of the day they're trying to get money from these. These aren't supposed to be running for Oscars. They're not supposed to be running for awards season. They're trying to see, okay, how much money can we make back on this? And I think when that is the precipice of your art, then when an overwhelming amount of people are like, hey, you should change this, I don't like this, and everything, then you realize that, oh shoot, maybe this gamble where we're trying to get as much money as possible might not work out.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think they changed it, because of money, of course, but at the beginning, I think it was this version of Sonic the Hedgehog was birthed out of a womb of money. So I don't know.
There's a mental image.
Yeah, there's your mental image.
There's an unfortunate disconnect between the filmmaking industry and the video game audience, and it's so apparent here because you can just tell that original Sonic design is almost cooked up in a lab. It's they just engineered it to be the most marketable, like Danny was saying, create the most toys. Jim Carrey just doesn't really have a keen eye on that, so I'm not surprised at his comments, but
yeah, I mean, I see where he's coming from, because he's probably thinking first and foremost. I don't mean it in the sense that I don't think he means it in the sense that he's yeah, those trolls online changed my movie. I think he means it in the sense that it's hey, I've met those editors that are now having to work a bunch of hours now, and who are having to go back and see like their creation in a sense, because it is still their creation, because it's filmmaking is a collaborative process, to see their souls get crushed and everything. So he has a different perspective than anyone else does. So I see where he's coming from. Yeah, I see where he's coming, but it is true. He just doesn't fully understand like the games industry, and nor should we like expect him to, though, as well.